another episode of Stormwater Creek.
Contrary to popular belief, we're still in the air.
We did it.
We got Grinch, Abe, and me, Jordan, sitting here having a few cold ones and recapping on what all we've been up to. No, you start that again.
Max is here.
Max is here. He's tired. We were up late.
They're going to Texas hard shot that elk.
Straight in the poop chute. I can't imagine Texas heart shotting anything but a turkey.
Right?
But do people do it to other animals?
I'm sure there's some asshole out there who does that.
I mean, with a rifle, I guess I could see it working, but you're going to fuck some meat up. There's no need to take anything off that but quarters and backstrap because the insides are going to be a mash of poop pudding.
Poop pudding.
I mean, we were talking about that the other day, and I was like, you basically take two shots. You take one shot straight to the brown eye and get the heart.
Who takes this shot?
And then you take another shot down low, and that's basically the zipper, and it opens up and everything drops out.
Oh, okay.
It guts itself pretty much. I'm pretty
sure that works?
I'm pretty sure it works perfect.
That elk's right there. We're watching TV.
We're watching the...
What is he, 40 yard?
Oh, please don't, Max.
Max loves to sit on the recorder.
I don't know what it is about the recorder, but
dogs.
Dogs love... It's like the smallest piece of thing in this entire room, and they just have to be on top of it. All right, well, you didn't do anything bad. We're watching Born and Raised Outdoors.
Yeah, this is going to make it really bad. Like, you picked the wrong thing. Like, the fly tying is probably the best thing to watch.
Just something that we can watch and not have to fucking think about.
Yeah, because this, we're
invested in watching these boys.
Like this interests me. Fly tying, it's kind of cool, but not near as cool as somebody sticking an arrow in an elk.
Yeah.
This for damn sure.
All right, what are we going to talk about?
Well, let's go ahead and talk about... you were doing some awesome cooking.
We cooked our asses off yesterday.
It seems that way.
So, I've got a buddy. He actually, we talked about the podcast yesterday while we were cooking. His name's Chris Donnelly. We've known each other for a handful of years. We met through a mutual friend. He enjoys cooking also. And we've always said, let's do a supper club. Let's do a supper club. And every time we see each other, we talk about it, but we never do it.
What's a supper club?
Just, people get together and eat, and you do it on a regular basis.
Having dinner?
Yeah.
So it's just like y'all have dinner parties?
Yeah.
Okay.
Supper club just sounds classier.
Yeah.
Okay.
But dinner parties sound classy as fuck, too.
It is a pretty classy thing.
So, in Hawaii, he was there, and we talked about it a bunch. Don't do it, dog. Max. Place.
That'll work.
Perfect. So in Hawaii, me and him got to talk about it, and we nailed down a date. Most of the people who came last night were in Hawaii with us. So yeah, we cooked.
Crushed it. What is this list of stuff?
Yeah, let me find that here. So I started cook. I woke up about 6 yesterday morning because I don't sleep in anymore, apparently, because I'm old.
Yeah, you get to a point.
I was out of town all week for work. I go home Friday night. We got in bed at like 8:30 because I was done with it.
So nice.
And I was like, fuck it. And we just got in bed, messed around my phone. We fell asleep. And I said, I took a Benadryl. And I was like, I'm just going to sleep.
I'm out.
6 o'clock, 6:30, bing, eyes awake. I had set an alarm for like 9 just in case. But, because that's late.
Even if I drink, I can't not get up at 6:30 in the morning.
7:30 sleeping in. And so I was up, so I went and fiddled about, got groceries, and started a big pot of pho, because one of the courses was a pho. So, and pho broth's it needs to be really condensed and cooked down because of all the, oh God, the dog's stomping around the wires. Max, sit. Max.
But all his buddies are outside.
Sit. Right there.
I'll let him out.
Sit.
Maybe you should train him.
Thank you. So I started the pho broth yesterday morning. I mean, it's got it. Bones run water at 9. So I did 2 gallons of water.
How do you make a pho broth?
It's not the biggest deal is if you go to like an Asian market, is the easiest place to find them. But you can find beef soup bones. And it's basically just hacked up bones that after they're done butchering. So it has all the marrow. It's got a little meat. It's got some fat on it, and they're cheap. It's like $1.50 a pound, $1.90 a pound, something like that. Max.
Come here, Max. Come on.
Oh my God.
Come on.
You can put him outside if you want.
Go out with your friends.
He knew what he was doing.
Being a dick, so he got let out with his friends. So the biggest deal is soup bones. Because it's got all the collagen, it's got some fat, it's got some meat, marrow. So for these 2 gallons of water, I did 9 pounds of soup bones. And
Holy shit.
I mean, it's a big stock pot.
Yeah.
And so that ginger, anise, onion. You put the onions and the soup bones in the oven at like 450 and get them and brown them off. Onions, you should blacken them. Don't even peel them. Cut them in half and you just want to get some char on them. Then put them in a pot and kick it on and let it simmer. And so I simmered it for 10 or 11 hours. And it turned we got probably if we would have strained it off, we would have gotten a standard. Think of a standard ladle.
Okay.
We would have gotten less than 20 ladles off of it.
Holy shit.
Starting with 2 gallons of water. And it was brown, like leather brown. And when it got cold, it almost completely solidified because the amount of fat and collagen.
Holy shit.
Like it was so delicious. But like I said, anise, ginger, soup bones, onion. That
sounds badass.
It was super badass. And rice noodles, and I mandolined some. I froze a bison ribeye, then mandolined it.
Where'd you get a bison ribeye?
Central Market.
Oh yeah.
Then mandolined it so it was real thin. Then we fanned it out on a plate and served it so everybody could take those. And we got the pho like boiling, so they could just throw the bison in there and cook it in the pho. It was good, but that wasn't the first course. But
awesome.
I mean, that's what started first. I was supposed to look at the list. What was the list here? So the amuse / first course. I got some marrow bones. Did bone marrow with crostinis. I baked a French loaf and then sliced it up and did a rosemary and garlic compound butter and then toasted those off. So crostini's bone marrow, and then we got some real thin slices of Wagyu and just seared them. So it was a piece of Wagyu.
What's
bone.
Wagyu?
It's Japanese, really high-end beef. The marbling's just insane.
Right.
Like, eating it raw is perfectly acceptable. It is so delicious.
Oh, sounds good.
So that was first course. Then we did the pho, that bison pho. Then we did a pork belly street taco. So my buddy took a pork belly and sous vide it for 36 hours. And I want a new thermal.
I know. That looks badass, that new Thor.
What's his name? Out at the lease. Dan's lease has a Thor. Sorry. So a pork belly street taco, he sous vide the pork belly for 36 hours in like an Asian style marinade. And took all the drippings, I guess you could call it, all the liquid, and then reduced it down so it was basically a solid when it was cold. So it was a demi-glace.
Holy shit.
And then so we heated that back up, reduced it some more, and cut it with some honey. So the taco was like a corn tortilla, pork belly, cilantro. We quick pickled some red onions in an apple cider vinegar. So that some queso fresco.
When you quick pickle something, how long? I mean, what are you talking about? Quick pickling? Just
not like like a true fermentation, just soaking it to get the vinegar into it.
Couple hours.
Yeah, kind of like remember when we did those squirrel banh mi?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. The daikon.
I remember that.
That carrot and daikon was a quick pickle. Just melted some sugar and some salt and some vinegar. And a quick pickle just to get some vinegar and
I quick
flavors.
pickle a little bit different than y'all, I guess.
Is that a euphemism?
Yeah.
You damn right it is.
Yeah, you know I don't know how to cook and whatnots.
I know.
And whatnots.
So that was an awesome course. Then we did a kale salad with pine nuts and pear, just kind of as a palate cleanser. Next course we did a yellowfin tuna poke, and the tuna was tuna we caught in Hawaii and brought back with us.
Yeah.
It was real good.
I want to get some pokey from y'all.
We'll make some. Then we did a grilled octopus with cherry tomatoes and citrus.
Right. So what exactly, for everybody listening, what is a
Poke is easy. You cube up your fish. You know, size of cubes, all person preference. I like mine smaller, like 3/8 inch cubes.
Right, rock on.
Soy sauce, sesame oil, sesame seeds, crushed red pepper, and that's about it. And all that salt in the soy kind of, quote, cooks it, kind of like a ceviche.
Yeah.
So the longer you let it set, like I did the poke mid-morning yesterday, and it set till 8:30 last night, and it was super delicious. All that salt in the soy.
Oh, yeah. Those sound so good to me. I've never had it, but like I've had people talk about.
You've never had poke?
No, I've never had it.
Shit. That's
So
unfortunate.
And I've heard it, and it sounds super delicious.
So traditionally you serve it over a little bed of rice, so we had some white rice. You can take it or leave it either way. Then what did we do? Then we did a grilled octopus with cherry tomatoes and citrus. So we sous vide the octopus for 7 hours and then dried it off. Then just put some grill marks on it basically to reheat it.
Just about how many different types of animals did you have in your cooler, sous vide cooler at one time?
The pork belly we did prior.
Okay.
And then the octopus was done prior too. I did no sous vide yesterday.
You did no sous vide yesterday, huh?
That's
It
weird.
was all done prior. So the octopus, we just kind of grilled it off, then drizzle olive oil, squeeze a lemon, some pepper, and then just cherry tomatoes. The acid on the tomatoes really worked out well. Then the final course, the quote entree, was a wild boar bolognese with homemade pappardelle.
Pappardelle.
So that was a couple pounds of pork I had, made basically Italian sausage out of it. The bolognese, everybody makes it different. I mean,
Remember,
the definition of a bolognese can be broad. I mean, it's a marinara, a meat sauce, a tomato-based sauce. So to make my tomato base, I'll olive oil in a pot, a heavy pot. Cook off your onions till they're clear. Add your garlic, and what I like to do for some extra savoriness, I guess the best way to explain it, tomato paste. You can buy all different kinds of tomatoes that are canned. Tomato paste. Take your tomato paste after you've cooked off your onions and you hit your garlic in there. Put your tomato paste in there and cook your tomato paste off till it's kind of starting to brown with your onions. Like keep moving it, and it'll caramelize a lot of that sugar because it's so sugary.
Yeah.
And start to brown, and it adds so much savory, like umami, if you're familiar with that term.
Yeah.
And then use that as your base, and then I add whole peeled tomatoes that are canned, and then I crush them I'll glove up and crush them by hand. I don't know why I think it makes a difference, but I do.
Yeah.
Some people's food process them. But then I cooked that sauce for 8 hours and reduced it down, then added the meat, and so it was just thick, like it would almost keep its shape, thick meat sauce.
Ugh.
From
So good.
Oh my God, I made a big batch, and when my buddy Chris showed up, he was like, that's a shitload of sauce for the size courses we're serving. He's like, I'm freezing this, dude.
Yeah.
Like if I'm cooking, I'm gonna have some leftovers.
Yeah, Whit
was
made
so
some
good.
sauce the other day, and she made it with some lemon, and it's so good. And she just made a whole bunch and then froze it down. So then afterwards, you just pull out a little baggie, enough for like the family,
Yep.
2, me and Brayley, like Winnie and Brayley, whatever, and pull it out, and it's done, bro.
That's
Just heat it
so
up.
Good.
It's true.
Yeah, you had some of that sauce, didn't you, Abe?
Yeah, I did. It was fucking tasty.
So that was the meal. The dessert was a goat cheese cheesecake, my standard. always delicious. You can't break it. Standard graham cracker crust. I mean, it's the most simple recipe. 2 packages of. Hold on, we're looking at a rifle.
A new
Apparently,
squirrel gun Abe's going to get.
Oh, it's a 22.
Yeah.
I support this decision 100%.
I told him to get a single shot
Bolt gun
for squirrel hunting.
17 HMR, man.
Yeah, that would be pretty badass.
Is that a rimfire?
Mm-hmm. It's so fast. It's like shooting BBs at a million miles an hour. I mean, squirrel hunting with a 410 with dove load is the way to go.
You think so?
Why not? You can't miss.
Yeah, but like.
Well, I'd use my 12 gauge with like number 8 shot or some shit.
So
Yeah,
I
but
was just looking.
I'm a 22 headshot kind of guy with squirrel.
I
And I
support that, but
I
they're so
agree.
fidgety, man.
Right, but I mean, like, if you're far enough away, if you have a 22 dialed in
I get it.
at 50 yards, like dialed in 50 yards, like freaking yeah. I got double blade hand,
Boom, my man.
and you get it. Like, I mean, it's an
I
awesome
support
shot.
this. I support this for rabbit hunting out of a vehicle.
Right on. We did that before.
A lot.
We need to do that again.
Yeah, we do.
Pat Mays, December 4th through to the 24th, February 24th, and May 1st through the 31st. Rimfire and shotgun only.
Dude, let's go May 1st. Let's go opening season rabbit squirrel hunting.
The opener of squirrel season starts in 3 days.
I mean, okay, I'm talking summer. Right now we
spring?
have other things to worry about. May. Because what else do we have to do in May besides fish and shoot pigs?
And we
Let's
can
go
do both.
shoot
We can do
squirrel.
both those.
We can hammock camp.
Yes.
Because May's not miserable yet.
No.
And we'll fish and shoot squirrels, and then come home and make us squirrel
Squirrel
banh mi.
me. That was delicious.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
it
want to
was.
make those squirrel
Yeah, the hot sauce.
wings.
Just see squirrel wings.
Yeah.
Squirrel
Wangs.
wings.
Squirrel wings.
What
So
else?
where we leave off on your
dessert cheesecake. It's easy. 2 cups of graham crackers, 8 tablespoons of butter for the crust. Melt your butter, stir it in there, press it in your springform pan. Some people bake their crust first. I don't. I don't think it's necessary. I think it makes it too crunchy. It breaks up easier. Throw all your other ingredients in a KitchenAid or a big bowl and use a hand mixer. You can do it by hand, but man, it's gonna suck. Soften all your cheeses first. So 2 packages, which is 16 ounces of cream cheese, 12 ounces of goat cheese, 8 ounces of sour cream, 4 eggs, a cup of sugar, I think. Yeah, it's a cup of sugar. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. That's it.
Easy peasy.
And everybody overthinks cheesecake.
Yeah.
That's all. Put it in a KitchenAid or a hand mixer and beat it till it's smooth. Pour it in the pan. If you can water bath your spring form, you won't get cracks. That does nothing but presentation. If I'm doing it for home consumption, I don't mess with it. If I'm going to present it, if I've got something to prove of sorts,
if you're pulling your dick out on cheesecake
yeah, if
making,
I'm slinging cheesecake dick,
Yeah.
I'm going to water bath it. So I've got a roasting pan, and you put your spring form in a big sheet of aluminum foil to waterproof it. Basically, set it in your roasting pan. Put water in it. Put it in the oven. Basically, all it does is keeps the humidity high in the oven. It keeps all that thermal content, I guess you could call it. It keeps the oven very even. So you're not, because ovens kick on and off.
Yeah.
So that water, once that water gets hot and that roasting pan gets hot, it's just extra insulation of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting the term. So it keeps your oven at even temperature, keeps humidity high, you won't get any cracking. And that's that. I mean, I paired wine and mead with every course too, but that's just a whole nother.
Mead.
Yeah, I paired
Dilly.
a mead with.
mead
It was a
badass.
mead from Austin that has had Chardonnay grapes in it too. And
What?
Pairing.
how come I haven't got any of this?
I don't know. Pairing anything with kale is real hard because it's so cloyingly bitter,
Yeah.
especially wine. I was gonna do a sour beer with it, but I didn't know how people would feel about that. But I found a mead on my shelf that was perfect. It was just sweet enough, but had some vinegary wine notes almost.
Yeah.
So we paired mead, and it was awesome.
Man, I bet whoever's listening is super awesome that they got so fancy on the.
They got some fancy shit, some classy ass shit right here.
Who?
That's why I hang out with you, because, like, you're a classy bitch.
I am a classy bitch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was what we did yesterday. All day.
Dude, it's amazing, like how hard was that, like, super hard? Was it just time consuming? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's not, quote, hard. I mean, but I cook a lot.
And the other
it's
thing
not hard,
is,
but it's very time consuming.
so, like, one of those things you made, was it, like, horrible for, like, one person to make for, like, a normal group, not just a...
No, none of it was hard. It's just, I mean, if you want to boil pho broth or simmer a pho broth, reduce it for 10 or 11 hours, you got to have a plan for that.
Right.
Or if you want to, create a bolognese or a marinara and, reduce that and concentrate it for 4 or 5 hours, you've got a plan for that. But none of it's hard. And multiple people last night was like, where did y'all get these ingredients? I mean, octopus and bison you can both get at Central Market on the reg.
Yeah.
Past that, there's nothing weird in any of that. I mean, Winco, I did get the soup bones at...
You guys have a nice Winco over by you.
Yeah, we do. I did get the soup bones at the Asian market because they always have them.
And you were in Asian Central over there, too.
99 Ranch is basically across street from us.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, everything's very available. It's just putting ingredients together.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing you couldn't find at Kroger or wherever. So it's planning ahead and
just putting it all together.
And spending the time doing it. It's not when I see difficulty ratings on recipes online, sometimes I don't understand them.
Because it's just, this has got 12 steps and it's hard, even though each one of those 12 steps is fairly simple.
Yeah.
But it's like 12 of them.
Yeah.
Like
baking is harder than cooking. Because baking is science and cooking is taste.
Yeah.
Like, when you can find a standard marinara bolognese recipe, and it's going to say, a teaspoon of basil. Or 2 sprigs of fresh basil. Okay, well, that doesn't really translate to the basil you have. That's the basil I had, and especially with garlic. Like, do it to taste.
Yeah.
Like, just throw shit in it till it tastes what you like. Like,
yeah, I was just say what's that saying that was been going around lately? Like, don't let a recipe tell you how much garlic to put in it. You do as much as your little heart desires.
Exactly.
Dude,
I over garlic everything. It says 3 cloves. I'm like, son, I'm putting a whole head in there.
Ain't about that life.
Yeah. I'm down with that. I'm
Me
down
too.
with that sickness.
But when it comes to baking is science.
So
I made bread today and bread yesterday. And no, you want exact measurements on those. I prefer even to weigh ingredients like flour for bread. If you weigh them, you get a much more accurate measurement.
Right.
Because if your flour's packed, 2 cups of packed flour versus 2 cups of sifted flour are 2 different measurements. It's not a lot, but it's some.
So I was going to ask you. So you were talking about sous vide and you're talking about cheesecake. Have you ever heard of sous vide cheesecake?
Yes.
What do you feel about that?
I support it. It's just temperature control. I mean, that's the recipes are one thing. In my opinion, most people screw up cooking by
overthinking it.
But no, that and applying heat incorrectly.
I agree with that 100%.
We
were just talking about that a second ago with chicken.
Too much, too fast is bad. Too little, too slow is bad. Less is more if you're going to err on the side of it, because too hot and it's underdone and you keep applying, it's going to dry something out.
Yeah.
If you're going to err on heat application, err to the side of too little and go longer. Situation dependent. This is all very fluid.
Right.
But, if you want to simmer something, it's all going to depend on whether you're going to simmer lid on, lid off. You're trying to condense or trying to reduce, whatever. If you're just trying to keep something warm, absolute lowest setting on your stovetop with a lid on it will keep something warm. because it's retaining all that heat. I don't know. There's a lot of things I thought about yesterday because we cooked all day. But heat application. Heat application is the key.
I've been addicted to my sous vide since I got
Because you
mine.
can't screw up.
Dude, it's so nice just to be able to throw shit in there and
Can
walk
you,
out the
though?
door.
Like, really, you can't screw up, like, 100%? Is it that thankless?
Yes, you pick as long as if
You gotta
especially
be a freaking retard to screw it up?
if you use the app, and we use Innova's,
Yeah,
Innova,
that's-
if you want to sponsor us, we're into that. But
Yeah.
we use Innova's, and the
we'll
app,
get in contact with you, don't worry.
the app is wonderful. Like you scroll through it and you say beef, or you said like salmon, and
Yeah.
it shows pictures of different flakiness and firmness levels, and it kind of gives like a 4 or 5 word descriptor. So you scroll through it. And
I didn't know that, and that sounds badass.
You pick that. I mean, I'll show. He's looking at his gun still. I'll show you. And you pick it, and you hit go. It goes beep beep. Kicks on your unit to that temperature. It's gonna beep again when it's preheated, which really isn't that big a deal. If you're in a hurry, kick it on, throw it in there then, and it'll bring it all.
Which
up
one
to
do you use?
Does
the
it tell you a
guides?
time?
I set my own temps, but
That's why I was asking you, because
can't-
I
you-
trust your temps.
no, their temps are 100% fine. I don't even use the app half
No, I
the time.
mean, I didn't like trust their temps. I trust your knowledge of meat for temps. How's that? Like that?
Their knowledge of meat is perfectly spot on.
Yeah, but I've seen you stare a sausage down. You know what you're doing.
What? So there's guides. Like, see this?
Right,
Like
yeah,
chicken.
So everyone's
breast,
out there.
150,
we
tender,
busted out
juicy.
the app and
Firm, juicy, stringy, and then it's not connected, but you normally just hit go, and it's going to turn it on to 10.
right.
And it gives you directions, like, and how to finish them, and ingredients. Like, you can't screw it up. There's full recipes. So
Yeah, see, I cook
Yeah,
those steaks to medium.
Me and Whit have been talking about
And
getting one
I
of
was
these.
there under on steak since I'm going to sear them.
Yeah.
And then, but one of the main keys, I think, is when you get it out, dry it off. 100% dry your meat off
When you get it out of the bath.
before you sear
water
it,
bath.
because
Okay.
a lot of meat flavor and cooked meat flavor and barbecue or grilling is when you see meat and it's brown or got a slight char to it, it's seared.
Yeah.
That's called the Maillard reaction.
Okay.
That's caramelization of sugars and burning of fat.
Yeah.
If there's moisture on that meat, it's going to steam. And that's where you get gray meat. When you pull some out of sous vide, it looks fucking weird.
It does look weird.
It's mutant gray meat.
It does look weird.
It's because it's been somewhat steamed.
Yeah.
So you want to dry that off, and then if it's thin and I want to sear fast, put some oil on a paper towel and oil the meat, and then you damn near get a grease fire, and it's seared fast, so you don't overcook the center. If it's something thicker, you can do it in butter or whatever.
That turkey fryer,
Screaming hot,
dude. I want that thing.
and that's another thing. Hotter's better because your meat's already done. You're just trying to get this crust on it, this sear, this Maillard reaction for flavor. Hotter's better, so you don't the whole point of sous vide is not overcooking it. So the longer you're gonna sear something, the more it's gonna keep cooking it. So if you can get something that's 700 degrees or whatever, and just like screaming white hot, and oil the meat and just go bang bang, and get a crust on it, then you're gonna cut into that, and you're gonna have a millimeter on the edge.
Yeah.
That's seared, and then the center's gonna be just perfect all the way through.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, that's
So yeah, dry your meat, oil it, or get your pan screaming hot with oil in it. If you're gonna sear on super 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 hot, don't put oil in the pan. I mean, even avocado oil smokes at 500. I've gotten my burner thing outside to 7, 9, and it's burning avocado oil. So that's in that case, I would get the thing itself as hot as it'll fucking get. Oil the meat, and that way it doesn't just burn till it hits it.
Yeah.
And then you got a crust like in
2 seconds.
literally 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You can sear in 5 seconds per side.
That's awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to exploring a little bit more with that thing.
Yeah. Me and Whitney have been talking about getting one now because It's funny. I've been wanting one, and I've been like, I haven't been pushing. You know, if I would have pushed and told Whitney like, "Hey, we need to get one of these," she probably got one a little sooner. But after our trip down there and she ate that backstrap that Grinch made,
God.
and that backstrap was just amazing. I mean, like we talked about it on the podcast we did when we were down there, but like,
Which hasn't
I mean,
come out
it's
yet.
worth saying again. I mean, it's worth saying again though when people hear this one. You know, like, I mean, it was great. Like, that was some of the best meat I've eaten in a long time. And
It was stupid good.
And it was, you know, not to dumb down what Grinch did, but it was stupid easy,
No,
too.
dumb it down, man. Everybody's like, I can't, you cook so well. I'm like, dude, I just apply heat. Like, that's all it is application of heat in the correct manner.
Exactly.
Like, it's not hard. Just, it takes practice. You're going to screw up stuff. It's fine.
Hmm.
It's still going to be edible. It's just, you're going to learn how to do it better and better.
Yeah, exactly. Learning not to mess up.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Something I've done lately because your steaks today were fucking perfect.
Yeah, they were
was
great.
Delicious. Thank you again. We did a couple steaks a while back, and I did a reverse sear on them.
Okay,
So,
what's a reverse sear?
yeah,
I keep hearing
so-
about a reverse sear.
Yeah.
I just thought that was you cook it in the sous vide,
No,
then you sear
there's no
it.
sous vide involved.
Okay.
So I put them on my pellet smoker and set it for 250 and put a probe in the steak, a temp probe.
Okay.
And so cooked it to internal. I think I cooked it to like 129, pretty medium rare. And then you take it off the smoker and then sear it.
Huh.
So it's a slow cook on a smoker. I mean, it cooked for 45 minutes on the grill. But I have temperature control on the grill, so you kind of got to have a smoker.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Hmm.
So you're not going to go wrong either way. Play around.
Yeah.
Some people with
So-
big cuts have said if they're going to sous vide a pot roast or something big, they've seared before, they've bagged to get those sear flavors
That's kind of
into
caramel,
it,
yeah.
and then especially if they're going to shred it afterward, and sear doesn't really matter, or seared before and after. And that's the beauty of it. It can turn a cheap steak into something delicious.
Yeah.
So buy some and play with it. You can't screw up a pork shoulder. Do a 24-hour pork shoulder.
I've got to go. I've been looking at Craigslist for coolers.
Yeah.
Just
You
to,
can use mine whenever you want.
I
I
know.
hardly ever use it because it's just me and
Yeah, but I
Lauren.
mean, and really and truly, like, for
You
the
just-
price of a cheap igloo the size Grinch has, like,
Yeah.
it's...
And I've got a hole
You-
saw you can use. And
Yeah.
then the sous vide unit sits in it. You saw my
No, that's what I was like trying to figure out. I was like, I don't know if I have the whole saw that is that big enough.
I mean,
I
because
got
me and Whitney talked about that, and she was like, do we need... I was like, we don't need that.
No.
But, like, if you want to do something bigger, it would be nice, whatever.
It
but,
help-
like you think
Yeah.
about buying something in your kitchen, like a nice pot and pan, like a nice pot, like, it's not cheap. It's not
No.
expensive
and
either.
and the other side
know
of
what
it
I
is
mean?
it's
Like-
not going to hold temperature as well. Like the only time I'm going to cook in that
So you're
big
saying I
one,
need a Arctic with a hole saw drilled through it?
a Yeti,
Oh, yeah.
and drill a hole in that son of a bitch. You know what that screams?
I don't give a
Sponsorship.
fuck.
Luxury.
Fucking, I don't give a fuck.
No, it's good for cooking like all those backstraps and tenderloins we cook because
Oh, yeah.
multiple of us eating. It's good for having quantity, or if you're gonna do like a pork shoulder for 24 hours, you can just set it in the floor in the garage or wherever.
Yeah.
It's out of the way.
That's the
And
reason I wanted it. Is 'cause
you-
it's out of the way.
and you have more room.
Yeah.
Just more room to put it in there.
Yeah.
So, like, Abe had, like, around that pot you were using, you had two steaks per little section or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, does it matter how much touches in a sous vide? Like,
So they have a circulating
Right,
motor
I
in them,
saw
so
that-
not really. It'll all get to temperature. It really doesn't.
you don't want to stack them on there or anything.
You need water to be able to move around them. If you've got two bags kind of leaning against each other, as long as you can kind of see them bumping or there's water movement, you're gonna be
You're
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So, another question. I almost called you this morning because we were sitting there and we were doing it. We had some floaty bags. You put the meat in there and put them in there, and the
Yeah.
bags were kind of floating. A little bit of the meat was out of the water, so we decided to add a knife. So does that affect
Yes.
the cooking?
You do not want air in your bags because air is one of the best insulators.
Not the air I'm worried about, but yes, go continue what you're saying. But
Yeah, a floaty bag. What a lot of people are doing is buying marbles or rocks, and even if you care, I don't boil a couple rocks and throw them in the bag.
Yeah.
So they're clean, or just if you have a vacuum sealer, cut a small piece of bag and seal your rock in a bag, then you can put it in there.
Huh.
Or just use not a paper clip, but one of the like alligator clips, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Clipping something, a knife or a fork or something to the bottom of the bag, just to keep just something, just to weight it.
I bet we use fishing weights.
Yeah. There's a lead. I'm not scared of it, but I don't know that I'd do it.
No, I mean, but not
marbles,
all of them are
marbles.
tungsten.
Okay,
I have tons of old tungsten.
Jordan's independently wealthy, apparently.
No, I mean...
I'm all my old tungsten fishing weights.
I mean, I have a bunch
my diamond shoes are too tight.
I have a bunch that are all tore up. I've been fishing a long time.
We need to...
Buddy.
I support.
I just took a knife and put it in the bag with the snake.
Right, but so that's what I was getting at. So like,
fine.
Like the heat that the knife brings is not going to weird out the temperature or anything like that.
It's all going to be the same temperature because that water's that temperature.
That's
the
question.
You
though.
need it submerged.
Yeah.
That's more important.
Air is bad. Anything else doesn't matter because it may take longer to get something else up to temperature, but it's going to get up to temperature.
So is it worth it to just obviously just whatever you're doing, just throw it in your vacuum sealer?
I never have floating issues really. Half the time I don't even use my vacuum sealer for sous vide. I'll just use gallon bags unless it's already in the freezer vacuum sealed.
Well, I know for our backstrap we had
because those are already in the fridge.
Yeah.
So good. That was stupid good.
The only thing that I've found that absolutely does not sous vide is mashed potatoes.
Yeah, that's what I tell everybody.
Because I thought it'd be genius. Just throw potatoes in a bag and cook until they're soft, dump them out, and smash them. So everything I can think in my head about it is that when you boil potatoes, you boil out a lot of starch.
Yeah.
When you boil in a bag, you keep it in. It makes a bag full of glue. It's crazy. Like, it tastes like potato on steroids, but the texture, it's just, I don't want to say inedible, but it is inedible.
Damn near.
Damn near. I'll have another one of those.
Big one? Or
Is there a big one?
Coors Light or Miller Lite?
Miller Lite. I thought I saw a big Miller Lite in the fridge out there.
Oh, there is one big Miller Lite out in the fridge.
He asked for it. He specifically told you to bring him that one.
I did. It's okay, though. Like, beggars can't be choosers.
Oh, wait, I have to drink beer out of a bottle.
That I didn't pay for.
Oh, give me your empty.
So, yeah, that's a lot of cooking talk.
Yeah.
So
what else?
Before we get off this cooking top, what's on your what's in your sights for something new? Have you thought of anything that you're wanting to try that you have
this week?
Like, I mean, you're starting a dinner club.
Asabuco. I've still got.
Have you not done that yet?
No.
That's amazing to me that you haven't tried that one yet.
I'm gonna do it.
I mean, you were talking about Ronald's new
Just
cookbook.
shanks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cut on the bias.
I'm gonna buy a bandsaw soon, so we'll have a bandsaw to cut meat with.
Yeah, your garage looks very bland. You know,
So much room for activities.
yeah, so much room
There's
for
so many
activities.
room-
That's
so much room
that's
for
a
activities.
fallacy right now.
Ugh.
Asabuco. Man, I don't know. Is there anything you've thought of that you want to eat that we haven't eaten? I want to play with rabbit some more.
Yeah.
What's the recipe in Renella's?
Yeah, I was gonna actually pop that one up.
The German one.
Starts with an H. Okay. So let's go with this. So before we left Fredericksburg the other day, I took Abe and introduced him to.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
So I introduced him to
that
some.
place was
Yeah.
so good.
And that's one of many down there. I mean, there's such good food down there.
Yeah.
And we went to Oshlanders, in case anyone wants to know. That's one of my favorite places to eat in Fredericksburg. But I was looking at a bunch of those meals on there, like schnitzel and stuff like that. Like off the top of your head, and if you can't, I mean, I understand. Like if you can't just pop one off the top of your head, what would be a good German dish to make out of like a wild game besides the turkey and the schnitzel? Because like that's delicious.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of
A
overdone.
German
But like,
dish?
venison could schnitzel, right? Like I mean, it's basically like thinned out fried venison, right?
Schnitzel's what, usually veal
It depends.
or pork. So wild boar, absolutely. It's pound out of steak.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get a wild pig for some pork schnitzel.
We could do that. What was when y'all came over and we podcasted with
The roulade.
the
the roulade.
That's what I had
So,
at Oshlanders. It was so good. Holy crap. It was great at your house, which is
that
why
was our first go at it, and it was okay.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
So
that was like you could do venison with that, so like pound it out thin. Where did we roll it? What did we roll into it? I forget. A pickle, Dijon mustard. Was there cheese?
No. This one, the one that I had a little sauerkraut and pickle all rolled into it.
Okay.
And it was good.
When did we start that sauerkraut? Let me look on the Instagram when I posted that picture. Because it's still fermenting.
So how long does it take for that to
November
ferment?
13th. So we're 2 weeks in. They say 3 to 4 weeks. I'm excited for that. To have that crock. That was a wedding present we registered for. Because fermented foods are so good for you, and your gut health is so important.
Yeah.
And I know I wreck mine with all the drinking and simple sugars and carbs in themselves aren't really good for gut bacteria. And we clearly eat and drink a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
So and I love sauerkraut. So if I can make it and know it's like really healthy for me.
Sauerkraut is so good.
And I want to do kimchi next. Because I really like kimchi too. Oh, this brings up something. You mentioned something I hadn't made before that Abe keeps talking about. I want to empanada the shit out of some animals.
Dude.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Squirrel and rabbit. Like that's what we need to start
Squirrel,
with.
rabbit, empanadas.
Then we talk about like some what was the other one
Duck
we talked about?
We get
empanadas.
some crappie
Crappie
empanadas.
empanadas.
That was the one. Crappie. And I don't know why I didn't pop that one up first with Abe being in the room.
As we're watching crappie fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
That's a good
was like
size
the
one.
wrong thing for you to put on again.
Nah.
Like
we're watching somebody-
I've been zoning out, and like Grinch says stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if he said what I'm about
That's
to
why I
ask.
stopped facing the screen to help with that.
Yeah, you were
but-
zoning out bad. You'd be like, I'm like, oh, Eb's not listening.
No,
That's awesome, dude.
I've been drifting in and out.
Cool. I don't know. I've just been addicted to that. We were talking earlier
I support your empanada
about
idea.
the empanadas.
No, I'm down with that.
Where it's at, I want to try some duck empanadas, like some tamales.
You bring
Yes.
me,
So
do tamales. He's got
why are we talking
half-blade
to you?
hands.
I'm serious about
He's
this.
half blade hand.
This is super hardcore.
I'll double this. So me and Whitney want to be a part when you make your
Okay.
tamales. Like I want to learn to make tamales. 'Cause tamales, like
They're a pain in the ass.
yeah,
There's
but like,
so much
God,
work.
they're so
They're
good. Though.
so good. One of those things again that was like, holy shit! If you like try to just tell somebody how to make tamales,
Yeah.
how difficult that is to do.
That's there you go. And that's a difficult one.
But it's not difficult. It's 25,000 steps that are just like, you just gotta,
I feel there's some difficulty to that.
like I did it. It took me 2 days. 2 full days
See, that's
to do that
difficulty.
shit.
If I can't completely make something in a day, other than
It's
like
gonna blow your mind.
other than like resting it, if you have to like dough, when you make pasta, dough,
Right,
you need to
that's
rest it for a
different.
few hours. But I mean, not even overnight. But if something takes 2 days, that hits the difficult meter.
I also made a lot. Like I did them for Christmas one year as Christmas gifts, and I made like.
Yeah. Wasn't that like the year before last or something?
No, this was years and years ago.
Oh.
Is he smoking Swisher Sweet Smalls?
I thought they were Lucky Strikes.
Are they?
Dude, I don't
That's
know.
even better.
I wonder if this is Richard Gene.
The Catfish Machine?
The Fishing Machine. Richard Jane the Fishing Machine.
Oh, yeah, this is Richard Gene.
He's smoking Lucky Strikes.
Dude, this guy is a fucking trip and a half.
I
I've
like
begged
his
this guy to
videos.
be on our podcast.
With no response, right?
No response.
He doesn't-
And the thing is I'm like, I don't even know if he knows how to use YouTube properly to respond.
No way.
He does have a pretty successful YouTube channel, but he is a trip and a half to watch, dude.
It's good. I've watched it.
Oh my god.
So we need to empanada some stuff.
Yeah.
I'm down. Lauren's mom gave me this, like, I want to say antique, but it's French cast iron, enameled cast iron Dutch oven.
Nice.
So we can deep fry in it.
Yes.
I threw away my deep fryer because I couldn't find the cord.
You know,
I hate deep fryers.
Why?
Well, I just like they're just such a
The
like
little
a,
small ones are like
Yeah,
I
like-
liked mine a lot.
so like how like I guess it's just like just sitting there with like on your countertop. Can you just leave it? You got to drain it every time,
Oh
right?
yeah, and your oil is only good so many times. You need to filter it. Like if you're gonna deep fry, be prepared to do work.
That's the thing. I wish that I had the ability to have a deep
Well,
fryer that
what's the
was
difference
like.
between deep frying that and deep frying cast iron? There's not, except you have way worse temperature control.
Oh, I get it. I just, want to be able to go. Oh, you know what? Let's make French fries tonight.
You could leave oil in there for a while,
Yeah,
but it's on the counter then.
it gets gross. Everything just kind of takes on an oily, like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
type texture,
Yep.
like God intended it.
like God intended.
Frying on that southwestern wok thing of mine is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want one of those.
that thing is like a disc.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
disc
Cooker.
grill, a disket.
Yeah.
I
It's
think.
a wok.
Disc.
It's a Mexican
It's
wok.
wok.
Yeah.
Mexican wok. Yeah. So racist.
Really?
Doubly.
Um,
It's one of them.
Traditionally, it was made with plows. The disc
Yeah.
from plows, they'd weld the center shut. So and that's
dude, those things are awesome. We had that elk and everything cooked on that
yeah.
down at Full Draw in San Antonio. That was stupid good food too. And now that we know, we were like 2 seconds away from Jordan's house, or Jordan's parents' house. We could just crash there next time.
Yeah, I was really amazed. Leading Edge, those guys are badass, and I was super excited to find out they lived, or their shops not very far from where my folks are hanging out at.
Yeah.
But,
Well, we're almost an hour into this.
It's turned into a cooking episode.
It is a very heavy cooking episode. Let's just rip the e-brake and let's talk about the elk trip that we've never talked about.
Lackluster.
yeah, no, but I mean, it was a
It
great
was- yeah,
time. It
yeah, it
was a
was.
good time.
Second day, we got onto a bull and 2 cows and never could find them again. That's the short story. But
That is a real short story. Like, that was a quick story.
we cut that mountain up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
we showed
in-
close friends our Onyx maps and we gridded it out. And we tried everything and
we found a lot of stuff, and we were on the right path.
they were there, maybe. Or they were there prior.
So the basically for a little bit longer of a story, I guess a better story is we made a plan. We found a spot that we really thought was good. It was in a spot that the very first thing we did was went up in that really little cut and dropped a trail camera. And we didn't think it was really that great, but there weren't a lot of people around there. And then me and Grinch went up the hill all the way, crested it, and then found a little water hole, and then found out that's like where everybody was.
course.
Like we made a plan,
There's
and
a shitload of hunters.
and then immediately had to change our, like, once we figured out what was going on, we talked to a couple other guys.
Everybody
and those other
else
guys,
come up
every
with
other
that same
guys was
plan.
like,
Same plan.
yeah, they were like, yeah, we had the same plan, and these dudes are over here. If you go look over just this little bit further, there's a camp like 100 yards from where y'all guys wanted to set up. We went and crested one more little spot, and you could just see down, and there was just like people already there. So we made another plan. We bust out our Onyx maps, and we just started like digging into it. And we found a spot that we thought was, really good. We went over there, and we just started cutting this hill up. And do you want to tell the first encounter we got? Because we're already a little bit downtrodden. Like, what was it? Was it the first night or the second day?
Second day.
So, not seeing too much.
Yeah, and we saw a shitload of hunters, and it's real rocky, so we're kind of stomping around through there. We're not being real quiet. And what did we do? We kind of just stopped, or
so we were
just
morning
in
was
boots,
cold.
or
Morning was
we were
cold.
shedding layers.
We were shedding layers.
We'd stop to shed layers,
And I was taking a piss.
and then Jordan's like, "Holy shit! There's 2 cows right above us."
Like, quiet. Like, I was like, dude,
Yeah.
2 cows right over there, and like, he's
And
dropped trowel already.
And
I think you're at the point of putting your boots back on.
no, I was good because I looked. I was like, "Oh my god!" And I don't know. My brain just shut off because I was like, I should have ranged them and let an arrow fly. Because in retrospect, they were 30 yards away.
Oh man.
Yeah,
but I was like, oh fuck, we need to get closer. Because it just feel like
So-
we're bow
yeah.
hunting, and I
So-
just felt like we need to get closer. And so we kind of started going up this hill, and they're obviously like, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah.
And then I started trying to stay on rocks to not squish leaves, and then I kind of stumble and fall, so it's super noisy.
yeah.
So then at that point, it's like, this is fucking.
Oh,
over.
yeah.
And
You're
then
going.
then looking it back over after the dust settles, I'm like, they were 30 yards away. I should have gone, and there was a tree in between me and them because I was like, oh, there's elk. I should have gone like, click, arrow.
Yeah.
That's what should have happened, but it just didn't. It happened that fast.
That's the thing, right?
Like
You
I
just-
had no
it's
time.
just so difficult
and
to
it's
kind of be like,
experience. I don't have
Yeah.
enough experience to know like this is what we should do.
yeah, exactly.
So then leaving there, that after we stomped around trying to bump him up again, we bump up this bull running. And he's 150 yards down, cutting across and away from us,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it.
And you look like you look young, but he looked decent.
I would have shot him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Like he wasn't going on any like postage stamps or anything like that, but he was nice.
We
Then we kicked up a few hunters
we had a ton of hunters. We were set up
that
pretty
were in
well.
like probably a lot of them were in like what I thought was like one of the worst spots, but they didn't seem like they were trying too hard. They were right off roads, sitting like in low tree lines, like super close to high traffic areas of roads.
Remember, James saw that saw the elk right there by the road, and the other guy said he saw the elk right by the road.
Right, but I mean like
I don't know.
basically I'm saying I felt bad for like kicking them up, but like we were trying to get straight to the road to get the hell out of there.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know, without doing that, but he was just right there by the road. So and then that was the dude that said that he saw that bull that walked up on him, and he had pretty much the same thing. Like he wasn't ready for it. It came up on his, like 4 o'clock to him, maybe a little
Like
5,
blind and
like
disappeared.
blind. He
Yeah.
turned
He
around.
said
He
it
was
appeared
like,
like 10 yards.
Oh, that's a big
He
animal.
said it was a 6x6. He said he's like sat there and he's like I couldn't do shit. He's like it was
Like,
10 yards away. I couldn't even get my bow.
just staring at him, and like that's probably the worst part about bow hunting. You're out there in the elements, and they're staring at you, and you can't do anything. That's what happened down on our doe hunt. I had that deer come up on me. It was just staring at me. Can't move. Can't do anything. Like
Nothing.
and then it just walks off, and you just wasted your opportunity.
Yeah.
That was it.
Couldn't even do anything.
But anyways, continue.
We got to shoot our bows. I mean, that was about it. We walked.
Oh man, that was fun though.
We were kind of in this valley, and our camp was on this little hill, so we got to walk out in this valley, and we shot our bows. We stretched our bows out to 100 yards.
How were you doing shooting at 100 yards?
We got his sight tape dialed in, and he was getting it.
Yeah.
We got to where we were keeping everything smaller than a volleyball at 100.
No.
Oh, wow, that's pretty
For
good.
the first time,
I got a
shooting
bulls
100.
at 80, like dead nuts. A dandelion flower pinned it into the target.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we posted those up, didn't we?
No, I don't think we did.
Oh, really? We probably have a lot of.
We have a shitload of pictures of us shooting arrows.
Yeah.
But it's so
Skipping
crazy
dirt,
and
too.
so much fun. Just because that target,
man,
a block target, I mean, we put the dandelion flower on it, just kind of poked it in a hole. So, because that far out,
It's hard to see.
you've got a black dot, and it gets smaller and smaller, obviously. And so it's covered by a pin. So you're just kind of like, well, I guess this is it.
Yeah, this is
so
it.
just so you could have it something, because aim small, miss small.
Yeah.
Just something, because you could find it in between your pins and just lift it up and just drop it. Yeah, it was so much fun. Like, I never thought
And your
remember
shit was flying good too.
it was. Once we got everything really dialed in midday when we weren't hunting. Having, just bow hunted for a couple of years now,
Yeah.
and buying a bow and shooting at 10 yards and shooting at 20 and stretching out to 30 at the Bass Pro range when I first got
Yeah.
it. And
And
that
you're like,
was
holy shit!
yeah,
that's
and
so
then
far.
getting good at that, I'm like, man, I'm a fucking master.
Yeah.
And then starting to getting a nice bow with an adjustable sight and like 40, 50. Like, I just shot an arrow at 60 yards, but then they're being able to dial out like, I'm gonna bang this thing out at 100.
Dude.
Like,
That's
then you're
big.
like, then you back it into 20. You're like, how is this ever a problem?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
right.
it's so crazy.
Well, and like shooting a bow, it's just like rifle hunting. Rifle hunting has the same thing, but like rifle hunting, you can stretch out a little bit further
A little bit.
Well,
than a bow. You know, like in a grand scheme, you're right. I mean, like it's a lot bigger. But like in a bow, like once you get like 20, 30, you're a little off. Your form's not all that great. You might be, like an inch or two off. You're still lung shot if you're aiming good. Fantastic. But then you get out to like 60, and all of a sudden you're 7 inches off. That's how you fly over because people hear all the time, like, people talk all the time. And when I was a kid and I talked to people that bow hunted, because I wasn't a bow hunter till, not too long ago. It's only been a few years. And I remember talking to people, and they were like, oh, yeah, I flew an arrow right over the deer's back. And I'm like, you didn't hit it at all? Like, I mean, it's a big fucking
When
animal.
I hear people say that, I was like, well, how? Then now I started shooting a bow.
Yeah,
and
now
it's
like, you're like,
Oh,
that's
okay.
how.
And everything matters. And
fairly simply.
And that's what we realized. Like, we're shooting at, like, I was feeling like a badass. Like, you can ask Grinch, I was banging, like, 30, 40 yards. Even in my 50, I was just
stacking
banging
arrows at 40 and 50. I was like, dude.
And then I got out to 100, and all of a sudden it was just like I was hitting dirt. And it wasn't because my bow was off, because obviously at 50 yards I was stacking arrows, but like it was just because my form, and I was shaky, and I was sitting there, like you just you get so much more, because that's
And I'd brought in your sight tape wasn't dialed yet. Remember?
Yeah,
because he was just kind of winging it. I'm like, no. So we did some sight math, and I had my caliper with me. So we started measuring. I was like, all right, here's what we're going to do.
Of course, you brought a caliber out in elk hunt. But anyways, and
so,
then he got
like,
super OCD, and it was.
But when it was done,
that was good.
We took we found the sight tape that matched his bow in my book of sight tapes, and we cut it and put it, and he dialed out to 100, and it was on.
Snap.
Yeah. So just by math, not by shooting.
Yeah.
Doing math.
And everybody that's listening to that knows me, I did absolutely none of that math.
No math.
Not a single bit.
You were talking shit the whole time. You're like, no, let's just shoot arrows and figure it out. I'm like, no, you're gonna be nowhere near the target.
That's not how I said. I said I'm not fucking with my bow.
You did.
I was like,
you did.
My thing was, I was like, that's cool. We're on elk hunt. Like, I'm just not gonna fuck with my bow in the middle of the woods.
You said when we get back, it's gonna be fuck for deer season. I said no.
Yeah.
The way this math works is that we find out where you're hitting
you and
here.
your fucking science and
we're gonna
witchcraft.
measure this.
Your magic witchcraft.
I was like, I'm
burn
gonna-
you on the stake.
I said I'm gonna measure this. Find the sight tape that matches that. We're gonna use this measurement to back you out to 50. If you're hitting at 50, then we're gonna make sure these measurements match this sight tape.
Yeah.
Like that, because that's all it is. If you look at a sight tape, we're gonna go on a rabbit trail right now.
Yeah,
If
that's
you look
fine.
if you look at a sight tape,
I'm ready.
As you get further down the tape, as you back out, the group
This guy's wearing socks on his boat. It's weird. Go ahead.
dude, he doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give. Richard Gene, the fishing machine, doesn't give a fuck, man.
So
White socks on a boat.
Yeah, no shoes. So your marks on your tape get wider and wider because your arrow's slowing down and dropping faster.
Yeah.
So all you really got to do is take a caliper, I like to, because someone who's much better with bows than I am. Hashtag Swine and Tines, Josh Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain to me, like, you should
Go check them out.
You should bottom out your adjustable sight. A lot of guys don't like to bottom out.
Yeah, that was a
because
Go ahead.
they want to be able to dial down even.
Yeah.
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 So, but if you know you're bottomed out and things are in, like, you got to figure shit out this fast, you know you can bottom out your sight in your 20, 30, 40, 10, 20, 30, however you set your pins at bottom.
Yeah.
So, you bottom out your sight. So we bottomed out his sight. We shot a bunch of arrows. We got him stacking. What did we set your pins at? 10, 20, 30 or 20, 30, 40? 20, 30, 40?
20, 30, 40.
So-
and the bottom of my sight is 40.
Yeah, so we got his bottom pin. We got him stacking. We got all his pins adjusted. We got his bottom pin stacking arrows at 40. So then we take the caliper and we measure the distance. But we put a little mark on his sight. We bottom it back out. We measure between bottom and that. We find just exactly. We lock the caliper, book a sight tapes, and you start laying it on sight tapes, going from 0 to 20 because that should be the same bow speed.
Yeah.
So we're finding bow speed. So we mark that. So we found this one. I think we cut it out and put it on there. Then we started walking back out, and we walked out 50, 60. Keep walking. It was a little bit off. So the bow speed, because in 40 yards, a bow speed changing 50 feet per second, you're so close, it's not going to make that much of a difference. So we get him out to like 60 yards. Tape was off some, and I was like, okay, we've ranged this spot right here at 60 yards. Adjust your sight to stack arrows. Don't fuck the sight tape.
Yeah.
Shoot a ton of arrows. Stacking arrows at 60. Now we take it back. We mark it. We bottom it back out. We find the distance between zeroed out and 60. We find the sight tape that matches. At 60 yards, your bow speed's going to matter.
Mm-hmm.
So then we find that tape. We stick it on. He's shooting at 100.
Just whap.
Yep.
That's incredible.
It was so much fun. I nerded out on it.
Yeah. I need to do that with my bow.
Whenever you're ready.
Well,
is
that
yours
was
dial-up?
probably
yeah.
the funnest, maybe not the funnest, but that was one of the things
It was
I
a good
enjoyed.
afternoon of blowing off some steam.
Dude, and
Because we were downtrodden.
Oh yeah,
You guys were done
but
with it.
not just that. But I mean, in looking at not even just being on the elk hunt, like being out in the woods where you could just stretch out and shoot 100 yards with your bow at your campsite. Like, I mean,
Living in DFW, none of us really get to find a place to shoot 100 unless we look. Unless we're out on somebody's lease or out at public land that happens to be an opening with all this brush and forest or whatever. So, and it was such an open, nice valley, prairie grass.
it was beautiful. It was picturesque.
We've got to post some pictures. I can't believe we may have, but we should.
I hope I didn't
we'll
lose
post
those
them.
pictures.
Why would you have lost them?
Because I lost all my, when I went to Russia and I was in Moscow, all my pictures of me touring Red Square, I've lost.
How?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
You know, don't act like you don't know that that's a possibility with me.
I do, but still.
It so frustrates you.
But the weather was gorgeous.
No, oh yeah.
The valley was gorgeous. We were
Except for
shooting
the
up
nights. Except for the nights.
Oh my! That one night.
not just the one night. I mean, most of them were pretty bad. The one night was worse.
The second to last, was it? Or no, second to last.
So, probably the worst part of a trip like this, and I always worry about it, because you check weather, and everything seems okay. You see it, and weather says, oh, it's going to be this, and you think about it, and you're back. All right, so we hunted with one of our friends that was local, and he had a pop-up trailer, and we used that for our base camp. We put that up, and in our heads we were like, man, it's gonna get kind of cold, but not like super cold.
Not like freezing.
Yeah, I mean,
Death freeze.
It dropped down. It dropped down to some. I forgot what was the lowest temperature it dropped down to.
It froze.
Yeah, it did freeze.
Remember? Because I was freezing my ass
I'm talking
off.
about a temperature. I'm not. I
don't know.
Like 20s.
Probably because shit outside was frozen.
Yeah, but the weather we checked before we left said nothing about freezing. Like, it was supposed to get chilly, but not like freezing.
Like, cold was supposed to be high 30s. The coldest it was supposed to get was high 30s.
So, Grinch brought his
40-degree bag.
40-degree bag.
Thinking, I'll order some layers. I'll sleep
Yeah.
in base layer. I don't care. Whatever.
Not a big deal.
It was a big deal.
It was
Which we've determined since that bag's old and worn out, because my buddy borrowed it to go to Broken Bow a few weeks ago, and when he got back, he was like, no offense, dude, this sleeping bag sucks. It ain't a 40-degree bag. So I think it's just old and worn out. I told him to throw it away. I'll buy a new one. And I'll probably just buy... I've got a 0. I had that one. I'll probably just buy a 30. But you continue. You continue. Then I have a question for you.
Hang on. I think that was a bad call.
What?
Like, what about, like, that won't use that as a summer bag?
I've got a summer bag.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I don't have a summer bag.
I think summer bags are overrated in the first place. But
just hammock camp.
Yeah. Texas summer bags? What are you going to do with summer bag? Nothing.
Use it year-round in Texas?
I have
because right now it's
I was
hot.
about to say, you bought a -20, right?
a negative.
But
20
Michael
degrees.
said you froze your ass off.
Yeah.
Because you went cheap?
No, it's a Slumberjack.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a $90 bag. I mean,
how did it not?
I was. The problem was
Did you not
my
sleep
feet
in it?
touched the
Yeah.
end of the tent, and
Oh.
the end of that bag got wet.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't mention that.
Yeah.
That's
So
actually
that's what it was?
So that's why
actually
my
a common
feet.
problem.
Was it your feet?
Yeah. The rest of me was fine. I was completely warm. It was a great sleeping bag,
Should I buy a -20?
dude. I tell you what,
Because I like being warm.
Dude.
Oh, boy.
so I have the -21 sleeping bag now. I have the
Slumberjack.
I
Yeah,
have
Slumberjack's a good brand.
the shitty like Walmart like
That's what that 40-degree bag was.
30-40 degree bag that's super thin. It's like very small,
Right.
ultra lightweight. It's
Let me
awesome bag.
interject. I would hope everyone understands the bags your sleeping bags come in are not for storage.
Yeah,
Do you not understand this? You're looking confused.
I put mine into a new stuff sack.
No. That condenses your insulation. They should used to hang it on a hanger in a closet.
Oh yeah,
Because then you stuff it in there and you use it. But if you constantly keep it compressed, think about it.
yeah.
Think of a down jacket or something.
Yeah.
If you squish it constantly, that down's going to become a 1/4 inch thick, and it's not going to do shit.
Huh?
Hang your sleeping bags in your guest room closet or in a closet, a coat closet. You have within one bedroom part like I did. Hang them in your fucking own closet. Make room.
Yeah.
Hang them on a hanger. Let them stay fluffed. Then stuff them and send them out or take them out. Keep them
It's
in
good to
closets.
know.
Don't store them in bags. But continue.
I
I need
store
to-
mine in a bag.
You shouldn't.
Someone also dried my sleeping bag. I'm not gonna say who, but it went in the dryer.
I don't even
So-
wash mine.
Yeah.
No way.
I have to wash mine.
My -21 sleeping bag. So I took. We had some game bags. So I
Day
took
bags.
I took some game bags and the stuff sack, and I put that over the end of that sleeping bag, and I slept. I also slept with just my base layer on the first night with one pair of socks. The next night I slept with two pairs of socks.
In a negative 20 bag?
Yeah, I was hot the second night.
But is it because your
Yeah,
feet got
it was
wet?
because your feet got wet.
The only thing that got cold was your feet because
Yeah.
they got wet?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's your issue.
And then he
So it's not the
overcompensated.
bag. Yeah.
No, it got wet.
Like most dudes, he
And then
overcompensated.
just the rest. I mean, you just.
But you're.
I was cold because my feet were cold.
But
and
were you
that
not
was
wearing
it.
wool socks?
I was wearing. Yeah, I was wearing wool socks.
You should have been warm then.
Night one was not. Night one was cold. We only thought
It wasn't negative 20. It wasn't zero.
No, but
it wasn't zero.
The end of that bag got wet because the inside of that tent froze, and that caused the end of that bag to get wet, and I think that's what the problem was.
Even insulation, even
Maybe.
with those, like those ratings aren't like 100%, dude.
No.
Like on any bag.
I've never seen a negative 20 bag. Is it thick as fuck?
It's pretty much. I mean, it's like this thick.
That's thick as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't own a bag that thick.
Yeah.
My zero's not that thick.
My bag's like a 20-degree bag, and I sweat in that thing all the time.
Yeah.
Like on our
Oh,
elk,
you
on
rubbed it in.
on our elk trip.
This is
I
where
was
we were
sweating.
going with this. You want to tell the story?
No, I'm just saying. Like, I mean, I really was. That's the only bag I own. I mean, I'm not gonna take another bag. Like,
No, but you want to tell
I'm-
the story of the elk trip? That's where you were going with this before we rabbit trailed.
no, I mean,
He woke up the second to last night.
Yeah.
I was freezing
Oh, yeah.
my
Yeah,
ass
Cold,
off.
yeah.
I
So,
slept
yeah.
in my base layer and my hunting gear in the sleeping bag, and still woke up and like
I was
said, we had
sleeping
a
in my
friend's pop-up,
boxers.
and I turned on all 4 burners on the little propane stove in there, and was in my sleeping bag next to it. And he
It-
wakes up and he goes, "Is it time to go hunting?" I said, "No,
No.
I'm freezing. Go
Like-
back to sleep."
like-
and he goes, "I'm hot." I was like, "If you speak again, I will come over there and punch you." Like that's I 100% promise you that.
And the funny thing is, like,
You're gonna
I
die.
was on the,
He was in just in his boxers too. No lie.
like no
I was,
shirt.
in, I was in base layer, wool socks, my hunting gear, which is
No-
fleece and,
Yeah.
and whatever,
I had to open up my sleeping
and in my
bag.
sleeping bag sitting next to the 4-burner stove.
Which, and if anyone's ever been in a pop up, I was on the burner side of the pop up. Like, so he was like literally like standing next to my bed, and he's like, I literally woke up and I thought he was waking me up because it was time
"Is
to
it
go
time
hunting.
to hunt?"
And I was like, "Is this time to go
Time to
hunting?" Like, I was super excited, and he was like, "No, go back to sleep." And I was like, "Dude, I'm so hot," and he was like, "Fuck you, dude." And like, I had to open up my
Die,
sleeping
clown.
bag because I was sweating my ass off, man, and it was cold.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
I can't remember what brand my bag is, but I mean, that's why I was asking him about like a summer bag, because that bag, even in cold weather, is hot.
Yeah.
and it's not a negative 20. I think it's a 20-degree bag,
Yeah.
and it's just never. And I use my sleeping bags, so I don't know if like I have a hunting lease. I go to a hunting lease. One of the rules is if you sleep in a bed, you have to take those sheets and clean them yourself and
Yeah.
make the bed back up, which is
Fine.
a great rule, right? But some of us have learned a trick. That's a big ass crappie.
It's a giant crappie.
But some of us have learned tricks where
Holy shit.
you take a mummy bag,
Yeah.
which is what I have, and you throw that on the bed and you sleep in your mummy bag on
And
top of the sheets, so you don't have to clean anything.
Yeah.
And
Even easier.
because if you are a hunter, you know that you always have to leave your cabin as clean as you can. But the thing is on Sunday morning, you normally do a Sunday morning hunt. Then the rest of the day of Sunday is traveling back to wherever you live, because most of us don't live that close. Like I'm a little more than 4 hours away from the house where I go hunting, and on my private lease, and so So I'll hunt in the morning, and then I try to come back to the cabin, throw all my stuff in my truck, and get the fuck out of Dodge. And the last thing I want to do is have to wash sheets.
Yeah, exactly. That's the worst. Like, I was thinking about that today, which is like putting shit up after you've messed with it. It's such a beating.
Did shit get real?
Huh?
Did shit get real? Like, you came in here with Max, like...
He's losing his mind. He was waiting at the door and he like jumped around.
He was, I've tried to make him get on the chair out there.
I was talking to Tracy about that. At the office, one of my coworkers has a big leather couch in his office, and Max knows he's allowed on it, and he'll immediately get up there and lay down. But at our house, he won't even try. Yeah. So he understands, like, okay, this one's okay, but none of those are. So you can do whatever we want. I don't care. When we were over here for that fight that night, he sat in my lap on your chair.
What's this button do?
We were so drunk.
Nothing. I turned it off. We were so drunk. That one turned on his light bulbs. See? That one turns off his light bulbs.
We're playing with Max Shot Collar.
This one.
I was trying to freak his daddy out.
This one beeps.
Yeah, it
makes a noise.
It kicks on the headphones too. We'll just not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max apparently did not give a shit about the beep on his collar.
He's not trained for beeps. That takes extra effort and, like, listen. Either listen to me or don't.
Or get lit the fuck up.
Like, I don't want to have to give a warning beep. Like, I'm not going to count like a child.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to listen to me or you're not going to listen to me, and we're going to teach you to listen to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Matt, that's bad. Sorry.
What is this?
Yeah.
I broke it.
It's all right.
What did we talk about while I stepped out for a second? Did I miss anything?
0 degree bags.
We're just talking about sleep bags in generals and how like my bag is super hot like all the time, which is actually a problem. You know, so when I go places like the Deer Lease and use my sleeping bag, you know, it's normally pretty hot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just I mean, you got to have a good bag though. That's the thing. And I have a couple different ones just because it's like.
Me too.
I like having some options.
If you were gonna buy a bag, what would our general consensus be to buy a bag?
20 degree.
Yeah, mummy, something like that.
Mummy, 20
mummy
degree.
for sure. 20. I think I'd say if you're only gonna hunt in Texas, 20 degree.
Yeah.
If you go outside of Texas, buy a 0.
Because that's what mine is, and most of the time I'm
You're
hot.
fine. Yeah, exactly.
I'm hot.
Yeah.
In it.
What brand is yours?
I can't remember.
My
honestly.
0 is a Coleman, I think it is. Just a generic Coleman bag, and it's warm.
Mine's nothing fancy.
Yeah.
My problem is that tent I was in was too like.
It was a trekking pole tent, right?
Well, I ended up not getting the trekking pole tent, which was like $50, and bought a $23 tent, little A-frame tent.
Like a Boy Scout tent?
Oh my god, I couldn't sit I couldn't.
No, of course you couldn't.
So
it's a $20 tent.
It was perfect for like just crashing out in the summertime.
Yeah,
be awesome for that.
That's what I'm gonna tell you. So the problem is, here's the biggest thing: like cheaping out on sleeping bags and tents is a big deal, especially if you're gonna do hunting like you were doing. Mm-hmm. Especially when hunting season is in the winter. So if your tent is too small, which most of those little cheap tents are too small, and your head and your feet touch the edges of the tent, your tent has no insulation layer to you in the outside, which isn't a lot because it's a thin piece, but your feet transfer into your sleeping bag, and your insulation will do absolutely nothing for you almost if you're touching the outside layer of the tent.
Yep.
They're not made to do that because there's moisture that builds up with your breath and all that stuff.
Yep.
Gets into your sleeping bag, and even wearing wool socks helps.
Yeah.
Length
is far more important than height.
Exactly.
Because you ain't doing shit in there but sleeping.
No.
And if the weather's bad, you're going to lay in there and read a book.
Yeah.
So length.
And that's why bibbies work okay because you have a little bit of space on top of you, but it's longer than you.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. So I mean, I'm trying to think of a good example, but
Are you talking about those waterproof sleeping bag, bivy bag things? You know what those are? You seen those?
No, but like they're like a small tent.
What I think he's talking about is like it's just like essentially it's got like a pole that goes over your head like this, and it's just like you're laying there and it's like maybe 3 or 4 inches, 5 inches over the top.
It's like
of your
a
head.
sleeping bag that holds it off. Like there's rings that hold the sleeping bag off you. You put your sleeping bag inside that, and it's like it's like a double layer, which is what insulation is like. Like a lot of times,
like we just said, for sous vide, air is the biggest insulator.
So, way to bring that back around. I like that. But so when you're looking at this kind of stuff, like yes, price is awesome when it's cheap. Everyone likes something that's inexpensive that works.
Absolutely.
And you might find a good tent that works great, but if it's too short, it might actually not work like you think it will. Because
and I think that tent would have been fine had I not been on a little bit of an incline.
Oh, that's the worst.
Well, I was on the right incline. My feet were down below me.
Okay,
but I
slipped into
you slide down into it, you know. So I think if I was flat, that tent would have been okay.
Did
I
you
could
just
have
not look? Were you just too tired to look, or
well,
was
we were
there
just
not
on
an
a
option?
shelf, and I mean, you either camp on the very, very bottom, or you we kind of just got up, tucked into this little crevice up there, and it was like a perfect little camp area for us. And there's just not really a lot of flat ground there, unless you're on the lake.
And plus,
floor.
I heard your hunting partner was just lazy and.
Oh my god!
Let's save that so we can mock him
All
in
right.
person because we've gotten over an hour here.
We're an hour and 20.
Well, he's not leaving it at that then. That's even better.
The next episode,
Dude, he was
Michael will have to defend himself.
showed up an hour late, hungover as fuck.
He fits right into Stormwater Creek.
I was like, this is absolutely a Stormwater Creek hunt.
I hope he hears this one soon.
I guarantee you he will. And,
He knows because we tried to text him beforehand.
we tried to get him on here. But it was great, man. I mean, we were driving out there, and we were like, man, how many cars do you think are going to be in the parking lot? And we were both like, well, if there's 20.
He couldn't even see.
He drove.
Oh, yeah, he did drive.
He wasn't drunk then.
That you
FYI.
know of.
Yeah, that I know of. So we were both on the way up. If there's 20 trucks in the parking lot, we're doing good. And there were 7. So.
God damn, Max, I can hear you through my mic.
He's just a boy. But
Man,
let's
I
not
can't
get too deep into the hunt.
I can't wait.
So next year, we're all going, and we're going to wall tent it and go in by boat. By
Maybe.
God, I really want to have a big boat by then.
The thing is, we just need to know if we're gonna have if the water's that high. If it's where it was at last year, then yeah.
Don't do that. He doesn't like it.
He's grabbing his tongue.
Yeah.
He obviously likes it. He's still licking me.
He's just licking because that's what he does.
Yeah, that was
No, I think we already screwed this pig. Go ahead. Sorry, let me cut you off.
it was insane.
I'm talking about if the water's high enough, we'll go in by boat.
Yeah,
in
if not,
in the SS Leaky Creek, or maybe we'll have
No, we're gonna get a better
dude, if we could get an SS
non-leaky creek.
BAMF.
dude. Leaky Creek, we freaked out. I freaked out today.
You
On
got
that
another
thing.
little meltdown.
Oh my god.
Oh, I got it on video.
Oh my god.
Not the actual meltdown, but the afterward.
Post.
I made him explain what he did.
So we go up the river and we get to our spot and go do what we need, hang our stands, put some cameras out, and then we come back and I get in the boat and I was like, something's not right. And plus he was sitting, so Jordan was sitting not on the actual seats, he was sitting on the cooler in the gap between the first and second seat. And I was just like, man, we're riding royal. There's too much water in here. Something doesn't feel right. So I was like, holy shit, we got to go back to shore right now. We're fucking sinking. This isn't good. I get super gun shy now after the kayak tip, you know? I'm super gun shy about going into the water, especially with that much gear in the boat, right?
I guess so.
You've got a boat,
guess
you've
so.
got we got camera gear, we got all kinds of shit in that boat. Like, I can't take a dump. You can't go into the water with that much shit in your boat. You know?
People have.
I know they have, but
Like the Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
dude, I ain't trying to die. I ain't trying to die.
It's Tawakoni. You ain't gonna die.
Well, I mean, the problem is you're in that creek channel, and that shit is fucking deep.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I get it. We've scanned it.
Yeah, it's deep. So, you can't touch at all.
No, you have to get out of your waders and swim. Like,
Oh yeah, you're
you
fucked.
you ain't wearing your waders. But continue.
So I just kind of freaked out and was like, oh my god. So we got back, and Jordan got out, and Jordan kind of pulled the boat up with me in it, and I bailed water out. We didn't even have that much.
Well, and the whole time me going,
We had
how
waders
much,
on.
how much is there?
How much is there?
How much
Oh,
is
he
there?
was calm, cool, and collected as always. And dude, that was ridiculous. Having that much shit behind us, 2 kayaks in tow.
I was riding one of those kayaks.
Yeah, and the whole thing was, you might want to start over. The whole thing was like, we were sitting down low because we put, the way we had to get back into the boat, we put all the gear in the back, which all the gear was in the front. We made it over that way. So it just made the boat a little lower. And I'm looking around, and Abe, when we left the shore, Abe, like, hit that note of, like, we're going down, boys! Like, go back to shore. And I'm looking around at the floor and not seeing any water. You know, like, there's no water in the boat. Like, it's a John
Oh,
boat.
you talking about today?
Yeah.
So there's like, no...
There's there's always a little bit
Like,
of water.
where I was
Especially,
at...
okay,
yeah.
and I thought about this too, because I knew y'all were gonna wear waders to get in and out, and then when he was like, "Yeah," Abe was worried because we were taking on water. I was like, "You're in waders. You're gonna drag so much water in on your own."
Oh, that's exactly what
And-
it was.
Exactly.
And my Drake waders have that, like...
Flap.
Like, flap. Like, they have, like, a cuff.
Yeah.
That goes over the wader boot and has, like, a little elastic. And when I get out of the water, there's so much water trapped
In that
inside
little cuff.
that. It's not a big deal, but, like, when you're in a boat, like...
You just drag a bunch of water in.
You watch, and you're just like...
Your
oh,
waders
son.
are like Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and Ghost.
Yeah, on
Busters.
me, those waders,
God.
like, I look like MC Hammer.
Dude, there were so...
The new hashtag, what I tell you, anytime in the waders, hashtag hammer time.
Hammer toe.
Because they look like parachute pants. I mean,
Crazy.
or that I'm wearing my dad's waders.
Or you pooped
And I'm like
in them
12.
70 times.
This guy's
Well, all-
deboning the hell out of animals.
Yeah.
He's just straight deboning in like 30 seconds. Yeah, it happened. I've since the tump, I'm just like, it's like post-traumatic stress syndrome. I got
So you
PTSD.
Get it out there.
Whew.
Whew.
It was pretty funny, though, because we got it done. I was like, all right, you good? And he was like, once he realized, like, it wasn't that big of a deal, he was like, yeah, let's just go.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
And then I brought my phone out and was like, all right, now tell the pretty people what you did and what happened. You were a champ about it, though. You told your story.
I just, I have a...
You have PTSD.
It's not fun, man.
I get it.
Well, it's the same thing. Like, we had the same experience on, what was it, opening
No,
beer
it wasn't
season?
opening day. It was, just, we went out to, like third weekend or so of deer,
Oh, that's right.
deer season. That's when we all 400.
And it was dark and stormy, and, well, the wind was up. And we had some waves, and they're kicking over the side. And what happened there, Abe? Go ahead.
Just
go.
same thing, man. Just as I was not taking it. It was too much. And that's why I gotta put a bilge pump on that thing.
Yeah, and I think that's the cure. It's like I've heard a lot of people talk about this. Every boat leaks. Like,
Yeah.
every boat's gonna leak. Your kayak's gonna leak.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, your sit-in is.
Well, okay. Leak is a big like.
You're
draw.
gonna get a little water.
You're gonna have water.
For one reason or another,
And-
reeling
yeah.
in fish, getting in out of the boat,
Right.
in the water. Yes, you're going.
Okay, sorry, my bad. My wordology is I'm not a lyrical wordsmith.
But you can say that and use the word wordology, which you made up. But continue. I'm sorry. Continue. This is such an interesting situation. Continue. You're going to take on water.
Yes,
No matter what.
no matter how it gets in there, and like
You're absolutely correct.
like bass boat, like
They all have bilge pumps for that reason.
They have bilge pumps, and that's why a bilge pump exists. Is it's not because it's like, oh, if you ever start leaking, you have a bilge pump. Like every bass boat I've ever been in, like you are out some point in the day, like midday, you run your bilge pump, and it
Are they
normally
not
shoots
automatic?
out. I'm not sure because I've never been in like a nice fancy
A
new
bilge
boat.
pump? They have like a float switch.
Yeah.
Right, but like
You
I've
can
never
put
been
a,
in
you
a
can
new.
put a float switch on them, or you could just put them on a switch where you just turn it on.
Yeah,
I've got
most
a couple badass float switches in my garage. So you get a pump, I got you.
Okay.
I don't think SS Leaky Creek needs a switch. Like we just need to like
We
A float
need to save our
switch?
pennies and get a new boat.
yeah.
Dude.
I mean, I
One-
like SS.
One of these days we're gonna be real boys and we're gonna have a good boat.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. I've got a hard on for one so bad.
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
and I got a hard on for the boat that you have a hard on for to get so bad.
18-foot beaver tails.
Yes.
Surface drive, 60-inch
Stop
berth.
it. You got to say it in a sultry
Dude,
voice.
we could do it for 15 grand.
I mean, and
Lauren's in too.
yeah, get rid of that.
She wants a boat.
Get rid of that tricycle you got. Let's start doing this thing real time right now. We'll outfit that thing with lights. We'll bowfish off of it.
Oh no! If we do it, it's gonna be done. Like
Yeah.
We're not doing anything. Other people are doing it. We're
Yeah.
gonna pick it up on a trailer and go take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because someone broke the engine on the outboard.
Oh no! Did you hear about this?
Mm-mm.
What happened?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't.
So, anyways, guys, I think it's time to go.
No story. Then we're done.
What story?
So you've got an outboard at your house.
Yeah, I got an outboard at my
It
house.
needs a fuel pump.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it way done? What'd you do?
it's not
what?
way
What?
done.
What do they got me?
Because I'm gonna get to him in a second. You're first.
So, I found one of the problems with the motor.
Okay.
One of the problems was the vacuum line running to the crank casing where it gets the vacuum to run the fuel pump was a plastic 90 going into a hammered I don't know what you actually call it. There's probably a word for it. Anyone that's listening probably might know. It's just a like press fit sealed orifice.
Okay.
And it just goes in the crank casing. So when I pulled the rubber tube off of the vacuum, I found that the plastic piece that snaps on to that press fit that's metal was all cracked all around it. So we're losing vacuum, obviously, to
Okay. JB Weld.
the fuel pump. What?
We could JB Weld that.
You can't anymore. So,
Just get.
it came off and it was also a little chewed up. So I was like, all right, well, I didn't know it was the press fit. Like I was like, oh, well, this is probably a 90 that screws in. So like I tried to unscrew it and wouldn't unscrew. So I finally popped it off and figured out what it was. And I was like, oh, well, I couldn't find that press in 90 that I needed on any of the forums or any of the parts catalogs I could find. So I was like, you know what? Easy fix. I have a tap and die set. I'll tap it. I'll go get a orifice and put it in there. So I do it. It taps fine, right? Like, sweet. So I'm tightening it up. It never gets tight. I hear a pop. And I crack the crankcase.
What?
So the
It's
crankcase is
done.
cracked. No, it's not done.
JB Weld it.
Yeah, I'm gonna JB weld it and see what happens. Or I can send it. I have some buddies that can weld. I can take it apart and get it welded up. Thing is, it's just old shitty metal from when
The
things
early
got to
70s.
the late 70s, early 80s, which
Yeah.
were
What about the other motor?
Sitting in there, it's going home with him.
How did you crack it? So you put in a metal 90 in? You were going to tap it in?
It was metal that came in that was already on the motor. The 90 part. So those pieces was the press fit that seals into the block is metal. And there's a little nipple that has a plastic 90 that snaps into that. And then that's what the 90 is. The 90 was cracked. And
So you're just going to remove it all and put a metal 90 in?
yeah. And the part that was hammered in there was metal.
So
And
how did it crack? How did you
It
crack
cracked.
the crank?
I mean, it just cracked. It's just old and shitty. It's shitty metal. It's
brittle.
the bottom. Yeah, it's the bottom of the crankcase. Like there was no. I was trying to get the seal, so like I was waiting for it to snug up, but it never snugged up. You know what I mean? It just was like going in, and because it's a pipe fitting, it just flares out. So it just wedged itself. But you think it would get
Snug?
kind of like snugged up, and then that's what I was going for.
Crankcase was so brittle.
Yeah.
That's a cool looking crappie.
Black crappie.
Yeah, black crappie.
Yeah.
But so that's where we're at on the motor at my house, and the thing that pissed me off the most is
That fuel
this
pump
morning.
could be fine.
Huh?
That fuel pump could be fine. It could be losing vacuum right there.
Right. And I have
Now
another.
crankcase is crap.
And I have another fuel pump for. That's what I was gonna say. The thing that pissed me off is yesterday morning, I ran around town finding all the pieces of the puzzle, like from hose to orifices, like
Dude,
all that
JB
stuff.
Weld
like,
the crankcase.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Just
so I have everything that I think that'll make that
How
thing
can
run.
you see the crack or what?
Oh yeah.
Fill it full of JB Weld.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The other
Because I mean, me
the
and
other
buddy
option is-
JB welded hit a gas tank, and gas never even bothered it.
yeah.
Yeah, no, JB Weld's awesome. It hurts me to use it like this, but like in this situation, and I
Yeah,
don't
we're
care,
nickel and diming this so
Dude.
hard. Who gives a shit?
But like the other option that I told Abe
The
is
SS
to
Leaky Creek
plug
is
it.
full of JB Weld.
Like the other option is
Can we
to
spray
plug
paint
it.
that on there?
The SS
SS
Leaky Creek.
I'm making a stencil.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
someone needs to remind me. I'll make a stencil.
I've
On
got
the
a
weekend,
fresh can of
not
Flat
at
Dark
work.
Earth.
What?
Richard Gene, the crappie machine.
That guy looks like he gives zero shits.
Exactly.
He's badass.
I like that guy. How come we couldn't get him?
He doesn't know how to work
He doesn't
YouTube.
know how to work YouTube. He has
Probably his
no,
grandson who uploads videos.
dude. There's no. I can't find anything on him anywhere to reach out to him outside of his YouTube channel.
Do we know where he lives?
Alabama,
In city?
Alabama.
Does he ever reply to comments?
That was my next. I
Like,
think I
hey,
put some comments on there.
Email us. Hey,
We want. I've done comments on his
you have.
pictures on his posts, and he just. I don't know. He doesn't. Like, I'd like to think that he just doesn't do shit except for his own
Fish,
stuff.
yeah.
And that's it. You know. So
What?
We almost done.
Yeah, we're done.
we should be getting close. It's 1:40. Like probably like 1:30.
Oh yeah.
That's a solid episode.
We did
Hey.
good here.
It was a good one. We didn't rabbit trail too hard.
No, and
Useful
that-
information.
Man, the cooking at the beginning was amazing. I did
Absolutely.
I did a fantastic job.
You did do a
You're welcome,
fantastic
guys.
job.
All right,
Making up
guys.
for making up for your crankcase problems.
We appreciate you listening to the podcast. Go out and review it if you don't mind. And stay tuned. Lots of cool stuff coming up. It's that time of the year.
Yep.
New stuff. More and more new stuff coming out.
New stuff.
Appreciate it. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, iTunes.
5-star rating. Download it. Subscribe to it.
Tell your friends.
Email us, message us, ask questions. We'd be love to have things to talk about. Tell your friends.
He's using a Frog Togs tape case as a worm holder.
Uh-huh.
Hashtag Richard Gene, the fishing machine.
We out.
We out. Later, guys.